Welcome, folks, to the Twist News. I'm Erika Gray.
And I'm Don Pravda. Welcome.
Yes, and we're going to do a little continuation on the Temple Mount because it's such a hot topic, the Temple Mount, right, Don?
That's right, Erika.
Very hot.
Absolutely.
But what's got me a little curious is that the rabbis don't agree.
Yes.
And can you explain a little bit more about the rabbis not agreeing, why they don't agree? So this isn't a unanimous decision.
No, it is not.
That all Jews should be able to go to the Temple Mount. So I want you to explain that.
That's an intelligent question. There's a diversity of opinions. As we recall, Minister Ben-Gvir took a visit to the Temple Mount. Many denounced him. Many were for him. I'd like to add that in Israel, the chief rabbi and a chief rabbi from the past have acknowledged that they are against this visit to the Temple Mount. They have religious and spiritual reasons, and Prime Minister Netanyahu is taking a stand. He is not against it, but he's not saying that he would go to the Temple Mount and make a visitation. So what happens is that there's fear that there will be retaliation, infighting. There may be some disturbances up there because this minister went to the Temple Mount. I'd like to tell you that I understand the way the chief rabbi feels. He doesn't truly want tourists on this very holy place. They don't want people coming with their cameras, clicking and disturbing the religiosity of this site. However, I would say that from my personal experience, it was very meaningful for me and very edifying to be on the Temple Mount, even to be in the tunnels at the time. I'd like to add for the second group that I was with, British Christians. They were there. They found it to be a remarkable experience. We also were very respectful of everybody around us. We're respectful of the Jewish holy site and, of course, of the mosque. We believe that Israel is protecting the three great religions of our time. Of course, their own, the Jewish religion, but we have to add that the Christian faith and the Islamic faith is being respected, it's being upheld. We encourage people of other faiths to be there. It's a very special place. We don't want trouble, but I think it is a very important place to be in this world. And I hope one day there'll be less pressure and confrontation, and it will be a spiritual experience for all and a very, very memorable one. And that's my commentary. I respect the rabbinate. I also respect this bold man, Minister Ben-Gvir in Israel. And I feel, in fact, Prime Minister is handling this very well.
The rabbis, the idea is that they don't want, that there's certain days that the priest would go to the temple or something. There's the Holy of Holies, and only certain people could enter. Does it have to do with that part of Jewish law? Is this their issue?
Well, the one that you just mentioned, the Holy was only visited upon once per year, thousands of years ago. So we're at a point in history where my feeling is that we're opening up truth to the world. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one place with its powerful vibration where one can feel close to God, and it's not a Torah site. We don't want hot dogs and sauerkraut mustard being served there. We don't want pretzels, but I think for spiritual seekers, it's relevant, and it's a place that you will never forget. So therefore, I respect Minister Ben-Gvir, and I understand that Prime Minister it might create a riot if he went there, But he's not against his colleague, Mr. Ben-Gvir. He's actually for him, as I am.
But what about the rabbis?
The rabbis are holding a position that's from the past and is current, that they just don't feel it's a place to frolic at. It's a serious place. It's like a makom of kedusha. It's a place of holiness. And so they cling to this idea of the holiness of the Temple Mount, plus the knowledge that it may create a very big conflict and tension because of the Grand Mosque is in the area. And but in my opinion, Israel is protecting the mosque. Israel is protecting the dignity of the Christians and other religions. And of course, I think it's a wonderful experience for Jewish people. And that's what I hold to. And that includes the what we call the Wailing Wall as well.
That sounds like a great commentary, Don. That's fantastic. Okay. I loved what you had to say about the spiritual aspect of it. But do you think there will be any kind of an agreement that's going to come? One with the religious, the very Orthodox rabbis. Do you think there will be an agreement in Israel concerning the Temple Mount? And do you think at some point things are going to change in favor of the Jews?
Well, there's a movement of very Orthodox people that they feel it is their place and they don't see why there should be barriers against them. And there is a following for this. It's not like it's unknown. People feel it's their country. Mm-hmm. East Jerusalem is finally in the hands of...
Do you realize what I said?
Yeah.
You realize that I just said that? Do you think anything would be in favor for the Jews? Now, we're forgetting that Israel belongs to the Jews.
Right.
This is the land of the Jews. Yeah. But yet in this land, the Jews, according to the rest of the world, don't have or shouldn't have full sovereignty and shouldn't have say over these or over the Temple Mount. Or actually, I think they feel that Israel shouldn't have say over Israel. They want to divide Israel. So I just see so many contradictions in world policy regarding the Temple Mount, regarding the Jews. And so when I said that, there was actually something wrong with that statement because Israel belongs to the Jews. And then you have different people who don't think that Israel does belong to the Jews or to the Jewish people.
Or there's many people who don't consider East Jerusalem to be particularly holy or different or special. That's where I surely disagree. But I'm consistent with my viewpoint. I've said it myself. Who is protecting the Orthodox Church in Israel? Who's protecting the Armenian Church? And actually, the mosques are protected. Israel does not want to see damage or explosions or really heartache. They just people just want to live and worship freely, express their views. And I think it's very possible to do this in Israel. And we'll be touching on something
and we'll be touching on some of these things. Any final words, Don, to wrap this up?
Well, wishing people, for those who are not Jewish, a happy new year and a lot of luck and success. And beyond that, go to Israel.
Yes, and be sure to check out the link below for our Amazon store where Don has handpicked some products from Israel that you can enjoy. And be sure to subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more broadcasts.